All right, I'm on the phone with head football coach from MDI High School, Mark Shields. And, Coach, it's game day. It's hard to believe. It's Friday night and down in Bucksport against the Bucksport Golden Bucks.
Yes, indeed, Chris. It's one of these games that, a lot of tradition way back when between these two programs. And, here I am trying to explain it to my current team, and they're looking at me like, tradition? We haven't played this school ever as far as players. And, but you talk about people in the community. I mean, I've run into people at, up to the gas station pumping gas, and they're like, oh, we're excited. We're playing Bucksport this week, Coach. And so it does mean a lot to a lot of people. And, for us as a team and a program, it's about winning football games and, trying to win football games. And we know, going on the road and playing a quality opponent like Bucksport on their field, it's going to be their home opener. They're going to be very excited. Their crowd's going to be excited. They expect to win games, So I told our guys this week, this is going to be a buzzsaw. It's going to be a hornet's nest. You're going, in the belly of the beast, to Bucksport. And, I equate it to, I told them for Class D, they're very similar to Winslow for us. They have that Milltown mentality, and they want to win football games over there.
I was told that many years ago, prior to me, over a decade ago, there was a commotion in the stands between MDI and Bucksport in basketball. I mean, that's how heated the rivalry is, and this is a new rivalry for football. But it's Hancock County teams and Hancock County towns against each other.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not from MDI, and many people know that. Nor will
you ever be from MDI. Just
no,
remember
I know. That. It's what did Tim Sample say? Just because you put them in the oven, don't make them biscuits.
That's right. Cats and kittens. Right.
Yeah. I realized how big this rivalry was way back when I was an assistant coach under Toogie McKay, and we went up to Bucksport for a game, and there was Chris and Tommy James were helping out Toogie McKay's nephews, and Tommy James was getting nauseous before the game, and I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, it's Bucksport. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, this is a big rivalry for us, So I knew right then and there, and that was 20-some-odd years ago, that it meant a lot to a lot of people. So you're right. I think it's good for football. I think it's great for the two communities, and hopefully it'll be a great football game.
Bucksport, I mean, they're a big football team, football town. They've got 7 or 8 assistant coaches. I mean, this is like you said, a team in a town that expects to win football games.
Yeah, I mean, I think of a Bucksport, and I think of it as a football town for sure, football first. And, a lot of people, 7 guys on the coach staff, I guess I didn't know that. But, that tells you right there that they're going to be well coached. I mean, they probably have a lot of individual time with coaches. And, I mean, you can tell just looking on tape that they know how to play football. And, I mean, we, of course, follow them because they are in Hancock County with us, season to season. But, not as closely as we have this year because now they're on our schedule. So, yeah, they will be very well coached. They'll be disciplined. They're going to be excited, and they're going to want to beat us for sure.
They've got a very good quarterback, Mr. Carmichael. How are you going to defend against him?
Yeah, I mean, he's the real deal. We talked about this on Monday. He's scary because he not only throws a great ball, and he has some good athletes to throw the ball to and his receivers, but he can scramble, and that's a concern for defense. If you contain a passer, which is going to be hard to do. I mean, we're not going to stop this kid tonight, but we'd like to be able to try to contain him if we can. I don't know. We'll find out. But then if he starts pulling and running with the ball, you have your pass rush lanes on defense, and next thing you know, this guy tucks it away and starts running with the ball. That's a concern for us. So, yeah, I mean, if we're going to be successful tonight, we got to try to keep him in the pocket, and a lot of teams haven't been able to do that yet.
So how do you do that? I mean, do you rush from the ends, or what do you?
Well, I mean, you have to maintain your rush lane integrity. We worked all week with our down linemen. When you're rushing the quarterback this week, you can't get out of your lane. So when you're going straight ahead, we tell them it's almost like you're running on a lane on a track, and you can go to the left and you can go to the right, but you can't get too far off that track, or you're going to open up some huge gaps up the middle for him to run. And then, of course, your defensive your defensive ends, they have to contain rush. They can't run straight at the quarterback, at an angle. They have to go up the field and in, or he's going to get outside of them. So a big night for our defensive ends. And then, your linebackers and defensive backs, they're dropping back and pass. So linebackers, they're going to be dropping back, 10, 15 yards. And if they see him tuck and go, they're going to have to, abandon the pass game, and they're going to have to, treat it like a run game and come up and try to make a stop. So it's a handful to try to stop. He's a real deal. He's good.
What have you been working? I mean, obviously, been working that on defensively this week. What have you been working on the offensive side?
Yeah, offensively, we kind of feel like we have a lot of offense in right now. We probably have more offense in at this point in the year than I've ever had as a head coach. We've been running our T offense, our straight T, and we pretty much got that whole offense in. And then we implemented our spread offense this year out of shotgun, and that's still kind of in the works.
But that's a whole different look. I mean, when Andrew comes out of the shotgun.
Definitely. I mean, it's two completely different offenses. All the terminology is different, where the kids line up, the line splits, the backs. The only thing that's consistent between the two is that the numbering of the backs is the same. But other than that, it's completely different. I mean, even the formations are, the T is just the T, but in the spread, we have the 100, 200, 300, 400, and depending on what that is, where the kids need to line up. So there's been a lot of learning, and we did a lot with the spread offense this summer to prepare for the season. So we already had it, established in their minds, and we were running through it. And, here we are, week 3 in the regular season, and I feel like we have a lot of that in, and I feel like the kids are becoming more comfortable with it, and I'm becoming more comfortable with it as far as calling plays out of it. And that's a big thing. The play caller has to feel comfortable in what he's doing and understand the offense. So I've worked hard to try to learn that, and the kids have too. So I feel like that's coming along nicely. And the way teams like to load the box on us defensively, they'll put 7, 8, 9 guys in the defensive box. We have to be able to spread them out with that spread offense and be successful. So we've worked real hard on that this week.
What about special teams? I mean, obviously the kickoff returns in 2 games have been very successful. Punting has been successful. What about extra points and what you've been working on in terms of the special teams?
Right. So our special teams look good. You're right. This season so far, it's still early. But where we have not looked good is the PAT, the extra point after a score. We got James McConomy back. He was out last week. He's back this week. He's worked real hard in practice. He looks good. He's kicking the ball through the upright. He's getting good height and distance on it. So we're hoping that he is on his way to becoming a real good kicker for us. And he's taking a lot of pride in that. He works, like I said, he works hard in practice. We give them 10 minutes every day just to work individually on special teams. So the punters will punt, the kickers will kick, the kickoff guys kick. And he's down there. He takes his entire 10 minutes kicking the ball. So he'll get in a regular practice, he might get a good 10 kicks through the uprights for the PAT. And then we spend about 20, 25 minutes a day on special teams when, we put it all together. So, we're hoping that aspect of our game is going to get better.
All right. Injury-wise, how's the health of the team as we enter tonight?
Yeah, pretty good. We're happy. Jacob Ritter is going to be suiting up for the first time tonight.
Fantastic.
He got hurt day 2. Came down on his shoulder, and we think he hurt that AC joint, according to Dan Viber, our trainer. And so he's back. He's looking good. He'll play a limited amount of reps tonight on the offensive line. That's the plan anyway. And Croy Albee, his ankles seeming to be on the mend. He had X-rays, and they came back negative as far as any sort of fracture in there. So it really is a bad sprain. A bad sprain. So we're hoping. Who knows? Maybe he'll be able to suit up this coming Friday night versus Herman.
Yeah, well, that's positive news for Croy, especially after he worked so hard to rehab his knee in the off season in the summer.
Yeah, definitely. And it's hard on kids. You know, it's been hard on Jake Ritter. It's been hard on Croy. You know, these guys are seniors, and they work their entire career to get to that senior year, and you're excited about it because you know you're one of the oldest people on the field, and then sure enough to have injuries like this. But those guys are the type of kids that, you know, they persevere. You know, they're tough kids, and they've worked through it, and they haven't sat around feeling sorry for themselves. They support their teammates, and you know, Croy's yelling in school today. It's game day, you know, and he's not suiting up tonight. That's just the kind of leader he is. So,
well, he was out on the field with, you know, as a captain last week, and he was out bringing water during all the breaks and everything like that. So I hear him from the press box. Yeah,
exactly. He does everything he can to help the team, and he knows he can't do it right now on the field, but he's doing everything he can off the field to help us win.
All right, you win the toss tonight. You going to elect to receive or kick off?
It's a great question. Down to Winslow, we elected to kick off, and 5 plays later, they were in the end zone. Old Town, we elected to receive, and whatever it was, maybe 5 plays later, we were in the end zone. So that's I've been thinking about that all morning. I'm not exactly sure. I might leave it on the kids. I usually let them decide, kind of get a feel for pregame and what they're thinking, and you know, sometimes in a game like this, you know, where we think it is going to be a real intense game, sometimes it's better to go out on the defensive side of the ball, kick it off, and get out there and get your defense on the field and see if we can get a stop. But I don't know. I haven't decided on that one yet.
All right. What do you want to say to the fans?
Yeah, well, thank you for your continued support. I know last weekend's game was an interesting one with Old Town, and, you know, people came out Friday night, and some people even came back Saturday with the rain delay. But you know, if you can't be to the Bucksport game, then we'll be right back at MDI the following Friday against the Herman Hawks. So hope to see you there.
All right, Coach. Best of luck tonight.
Thanks, Chris.